What if I told you that your Saturday morning cartoons weren't just fun? They were straight-up fever dreams served with way too much sugar and zero adult supervision. These weren't cozy comfort shows. They were wild experiments where sharks wore bowler hats, ghosts solved crimes in dune buggies, and 40-foot gorillas perched politely on vans without anyone calling the army. Today, we're digging into the forgotten characters that bent reality until it broke. The ones so bizarre you'll wonder if you dreamed them. And trust me, a few of these are about to unlock memories you thought you'd buried. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you don't miss more dives into retro madness. Because once you step into this rabbit hole, you're going to want the whole ride. Remember when Saturday mornings felt like a sugar rush fever dream, where logic took the day off and the TV babysat us with characters that should not have existed? Back then, cereal bowls were bottomless, parental supervision was optional, and cartoons didn't just entertain, they bent reality until it squeaked. Some creations were so off the wall that they now feel like mass hallucinations. The kind of stuff you'd chalk up to a childhood dream if there weren't theme songs stuck in your head to prove it. This isn't cozy nostalgia with warm lighting and gentle jokes. This is the oddball parade you forgot on purpose. The shows that tiptoed into the uncanny and danced on physics like a trampoline. By the time we're done, you'll swear you can hear the laugh track echoing down a very strange hallway. And the first door we're opening has teeth. Imagine a blue shark with a purple bowler hat and the confidence of a budget Bond villain, sliding through the ocean while announcing, "He gotcha," before every single failed attack. That's Mr. Jawless Apex Predator and more wily coyote, with gills, forever scheming to nab one unfazed fish named Harry. He didn't lurk, he mugged for the camera. He broke the fourth wall with the same reckless enthusiasm he brought to banana peel plans, assisted by a catfish sidekick, whose Brooklyn accent could butter toast. Nothing here made sense by design. The threat never felt threatening, the chase never felt final, and the punchline was always the pratfall you saw coming 2 frames early. It was slapstick and a snorkel, a cartoon that married absurdity and then invited the whole reef to the honeymoon. If you've ever giggled at nothing during a seafood dinner, this is probably why, and if that's how we're beginning, wait until the ghost climbs out of the clock. Take the Scooby-Doo formula, wave to the dog, and replace him with a Revolutionary War spirit who sounds like he's mid-sneeze. The funky phantom Mudsie to his friends, Boo to his cat, tumbles out of a grandfather clock and into a dune buggy with 3 mystery-loving teens who apparently have a no-questions-asked ghost policy. The result is less haunting and more cozy chaos. Accidental scares that make crooks confess, historical backstory that refuses to stay in its century, and a breezy logic where spectral slapstick counts as due process. It's the 1770s in bell-bottom America, which is either educational whiplash or the most Saturday morning thing that ever happened. Mudsie isn't terrifying, he's the friendly draft in a funhouse, a walking punchline in a bedsheet, the kind of spirit who would politely haunt you and then apologize for the inconvenience. If that temporal mashup had you blinking, keep your eyes open. The next problem can't even fit through the door. Now picture a 40-foot purple gorilla, perched gently on the roof of a tiny van, as if gravity were a polite suggestion. The great grape ape didn't terrorize cities. He inconvenienced them with cheerful oblivion. Bridges flattened, carnival rides crumpled, sneeze storms triggered minor natural disasters, and the laugh track told you this was all perfectly normal. His nervous companion Beagle drove beneath a living skyscraper, like it was fine, because in this universe the military is off on a long weekend, and physics is out sick. Even his name was the thesis. Color plus snack equals identity, which is both hilarious and weirdly honest. What made it all sing was innocence. Grape Ape wasn't a monster. He was a gentle catastrophe who didn't know his own footprint. You didn't fear him, you felt for him. And here's the challenge. Try not to laugh at how tame everyone acts while a 40-foot gorilla strolls past like it's no big deal. This isn't even the strangest concept on the list. Keep watching, because the next hero literally survives on dumb luck and the universe's patience. A mild-mannered janitor dog named Penry jumps into a filing cabinet and emerges as Hong Kong Phooey, a kung fu legend whose greatest talent is getting rescued by his cat. The city adores him like a folk hero while he tangles himself in laundry, gadgets backfire, and paper-thin villains look almost offended when luck knocks them out. The theme song burrows into your skull. The bathrobe swishes with borrowed confidence, And the running joke never gets old. He wins because the universe keeps tripping over itself to help him. It's parody and homage and maybe a love letter to the idea that style sometimes outruns substance. Because everyone acts like they're witnessing peak martial artistry while the cat does quality control in the shadows. If you've ever succeeded by accident and took the compliment anyway, you've worn that robe. And if you prefer your heroes fully competent, you are absolutely not prepared for the next partnership. Enter Blue Falcon, a square-jawed sentinel with the voice of a radio drama and the cross-section of a marble statue, paired with Dynomutt, a robo-dog whose gadgets revolt mid-mission. Jet paws misfire. Extendo limbs turn into knots. The grappling hook becomes a public menace. Every plan is an earnest blueprint spray-painted with slapstick. And the Falcon's patience is the silent metronome for the joke, as he watches another gizmo turn into modern art. This is a superhero show where dignity becomes a contact sport, and the rescue is measured in comedic debris. The formula is elegant. Set up a crisis, promise a technical solution, press the button, and let chaos draft the punchline. Somehow, it still lands on its feet, because that's how Saturday mornings worked. Anarchy in the outline, a smile on the exit. But don't even think about clicking away, because the next reveal takes us underwater with a shark that desperately wants respect. And here's your challenge. See if you can make it through his catchphrase without repeating it out loud. The Neptunes travel in a futuristic sub, play concerts beneath the waves, and stumble into oceanic capers with Jabberjaw, a 6-foot air-breathing shark who channels Curly's cadence and a running complaint about getting no respect. Evil scientists, sea monsters, and surf rock interludes collide in an Atlantis by way of laugh track mashup that never met a pun it didn't like. The plot isn't the point is the tone. Salty and silly. A teenage band rolling between gigs and dangers, while their chaperone is a marine anxiety machine with a catchphrase. It's the Monkees with snorkels, a jukebox of bubble riffs scored by chase scenes that treat peril like choreography. And if the ocean feels too civilized, we can always rewind civilization entirely, carve the plan into stone, and yell the name until a helicopter falls out of a club. Captain Caveman arrives like a landslide with hair, a howl, and a club that might as well be a bottomless backpack. Need to escape a cage? He'll pull a full-size helicopter from nowhere. Need a plan? Scream his name and trust the physics to shrug. The teen angels steer the mystery while Cavey body checks logic, and the voice acting growls from the gravel pit of cartoon history. Powers flicker in and out like a miswired neon sign. Flight sometimes, invisibility sometimes, and the slapstick sticks because the commitment is total. It's prehistoric improv, a Stone Age Deus Ex club, and a reminder that sometimes the only rule a show needs is enthusiasm. If you've ever tried to brute force a problem with charm and volume, you've spoken fluent cave. And here's your challenge. Don't grin when you picture him yanking a helicopter out of thin air. Believe it or not, things only get weirder from here, because now the monster's grandkids are stepping in to clean up their family names. Drac Jr. and the Dra-Pac flip the horror script by giving the capes and claws to teenagers who want to make things right. Dracula's grandson folds his cape like a Swiss Army tool. The were-kid wrestles high school and hair. The Franken descendant brings brawn and heart, and together they chase an arch-villain named Dr. Dread while dodging the Organization for Generally Rotten Enterprises, which is exactly the level of subtlety this universe deserves. The jokes are monster puns with Boy Scout energy, the transformations are fast, and the stakes feel like prom night with lightning. It's not about fear, it's about identity rehab. The children of legends trying to be better than the headlines. And now that the big beats are in your bloodstream, buckle in, the lightning round is about to redline your memory. First up, Speed Buggy, a stuttering, jittery orange dune buggy, whose horn might as well be a stand-up routine, racing around the globe with 3 teens who treat robot armies like light traffic. The plot holes aren't holes, they're scenic overlooks, and the gadgets solve problems with slapstick timing. On another channel, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids bounce from concerts to covert ops after taking orders from a talking computer with a face, stopping jewel thieves in matching jumpsuits because the 70s were a place where genres shared lockers. Then there's Inch High, Private Eye, a detective the height of a paperclip working for the Pinkerton Agency, using thimbles for hats and grappling with danger via actual grappling. as in paper clips and keyholes, while his boss threatens to fire him right before the tiniest heroic save the day. CB Bears cruises by in a garbage truck staffed by 3 jumpsuited sleuths who get cases over CB radio from a disembodied boss named like a certain trio of angels, disguising themselves as plumbers or park rangers while puns fall like confetti. Meanwhile, the groovy ghoulies live in Horrible Hall, a haunted mansion that functions like a monster variety hour. Drac plays the organ, Frankie hits the drums, Wolfie shreds guitar, Oetels read fake news, a witch does the weather, and the fourth wall is basically a revolving door. Over in the superhero sports universe, the Super Globetrotters inherit the spirit of the impossibles and turn slam dunks into superpowers. One guy multiplies into a crowd, another becomes water, another ties crooks up as living spaghetti. Logic takes the bench while charisma runs the play. Rickety Rocket zooms in from a junkyard, a wisecracking DIY spaceship rolling with 4 black teen detectives who solve future noir mysteries in a world that looks like the Jetsons raided a soul record store. The representation was rare then and striking now, even when the budget groaned and the jokes flew fast. Wheelie and the Chopper Bunch revs like a silent film chase on asphalt, a red Beetle that beeps its lines outsmarting a biker gang with the confidence of Saturday morning Roadrunner. Help! It's the Hair Bear Bunch flips the zoo into a mod lounge with secret compartments and endless jailbreaks engineered by Booby, whose greatest weapon is silver-tongued mischief. Mumbly snickers through police work with the energy of a detective who solved the case 3 hours ago and forgot to tell anyone. Jana of the Jungle swings through eco-adventures with a glowing necklace that doubles as moral compass and plot device. A shampoo commercial heroine karate-chopping poachers while the jungle's spirit hums in the background. And Morocco Mole, Fez straight and voice trembling, shuffles loyally behind secret squirrel, saving the day by accident often enough to count as a strategy. The strange thing about all of these is how quickly your brain forgives them. We were invited to believe the improbable because the shows never paused to explain themselves. A shark in a bowler hat didn't need an origin story. A ghost in a dune buggy didn't need a lecture on metaphysics. A 40-foot gorilla didn't need the National Guard. The universes were so confident that our disbelief took a nap, and the laugh track tucked it in. That's the magic of the era. Cartoons as permission slips for nonsense, shows that stitch together parody, heroism, music, and mayhem into 22 minutes of smiling whiplash. In hindsight, it all reads like a collage, scraps of pop culture glued into something loud, bright, and curiously sincere. And maybe that's why these oddballs still rattle around in the attic of memory. They were ridiculous. Yes, but they were also fearless in their own way. They broke rules not out of rebellion, but out of impatience, sprinting past plausibility to get to the fun parts. They gave us heroes who triumphed through luck, villains who folded under puns, teams that solved crimes between gigs, monsters who formed bands, and machines that wanted respect. They taught a quiet lesson too. Sometimes the best way to tackle a problem is to stop asking whether you're supposed to be able to do it and just swing from the nearest vine, press the button, or yell your name until the helicopter appears. So if one of these characters just unlocked a dusty corner of your childhood, a theme song you can suddenly hum, a catchphrase that tastes like sugary cereal, a chase scene running laps in your head, you're not alone. Those Saturday mornings were stitched together from impossible ideas told with absolute conviction. And that conviction is why they still glow. The 70s were unhinged in the most specific way. Earnest about nonsense, disciplined about chaos, and perfectly willing to put a mustache on a motorcycle if that's what the joke needed. Consider this your permission to remember them exactly as they were. Illogical, joyous, and somehow against all odds unforgettable. And if your brain insists some of this couldn't have happened, smile and let it wonder. The laugh track will be along any second to tell you it absolutely did. Which one hit you the hardest? Was it the ghost in a bedsheet, the rocket with attitude, or maybe the giant purple ape who broke every bridge but somehow not your heart? Drop your favorite forgotten freak in the comments below. I want to know which one unlocked a memory you tried to bury. And if this trip through cartoon chaos made you smile, share it with a friend who grew up on the same madness, and make sure you're subscribed for more retro deep dives. After all, childhood may be behind us, but nostalgia this unhinged deserves a comeback tour.